What's up guys, my name is Ivan Valdovinos, and on this channel I provide tips, tricks, advice, and strategies for your graduate school applications. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. In today's video, I wanted to share with you all the courses I took and the grades I received when I was a student at the Harvard Graduate School of Education in the Education Policy and Management program. For some context, I did go to HGSE right out of undergrad. My Master's of Education was focused on Education Policy and Management, and really I went to HGSE to focus and learn more about Latino family engagement and just really Latinx educational issues and how I can impact those with policy and practices. So all the courses I took were somewhat in relation to that focus, but I am going to go through each course and kind of give you a synopsis of what I learned and why I chose the course. For the fall semester, I took 4 courses. Each course was 4 credits, but I suggest that if you can add on 1 extra course, definitely do so. You are paying a large sum for your tuition, so why not maximize that tuition cost? At HGSE, you actually don't have a limit of classes you could take every semester. Obviously, the rigor could be a deal breaker on that, but if you could take 5 courses that are 4 credits, or maybe 4 courses that are 4 credits and a 1-2 credit course, I would highly suggest that, and that's something that I would want. That's something that I wish I would have done when I was at HGSE. But the first course I took was Contemporary Immigration Policy and Educational Practice. And the reason why I chose to take this class is because I am interested in immigration policy as it pertains to students, and also because I did want to focus my work on the Latinx community. A lot of Latinx communities, their families, maybe some students, do have an undocumented status or are immigrants of the United States. Or immigrants to the United States. So I wanted to learn more about what was the history behind that, what are the policies surrounding that, how does those policies impact education and educational access and things like that. And so this course really did teach me that, and the professor is a renowned professor in immigration policy on DACA and things like that. And so I really learned a lot in this course that I definitely applied in my career, but also in my current work as a PhD student. The next class I took was Ethnicity, Context, and Family Dynamics. And again, because my focus was on family engagement, I wanted to learn more theory about families and dynamics, how families are formed, the socialization of families, things like that. And so this course really dove into those topics, and I really liked it. I also learned some methodological techniques that I can apply if I wanted to continue doing family engagement research. And so I learned about like the windshield method, where they actually tasks us to go out to one of the Boston neighborhoods and do a windshield assessment. And so we had to go walk around the neighborhood, see what we noticed, and see how we can decipher some of the challenges that we noticed and how we can inform those with practice, with theory, with research, and with policy. So I really liked those projects. We also had to do a group project at the end where we had to write a paper using some of the theories that we learned and work on that as a team. I also took Empirical Methods, Introduction to Statistics for Research. And the reason why I took this class was because I wanted to get well versed in quantitative methods, because that is one of my weaknesses, but also because I wanted to learn how to use Stata, which is what we learned how to use in this course. The course was really tough. I learned a lot. I learned how to use the software, but honestly, after the course, I haven't touched Stata at all. So I already forgot everything that I learned. It was a good experience. It was challenging, but honestly, I thought that I wasted my time on this class. I should have taken an Introduction to Qualitative Analysis course or some type of qualitative methods course, just because that is what I'm focusing now on my PhD, and I think I wasted a course here. The next class that I took was Teaching and Learning, the Having a Wonderful Ideas. The reason why I chose this course is because I really like the idea behind being creative in terms of teaching and learning, and this course really did that. The professor, it was very hands-on. So the professor, she she had us do a bunch of projects, a bunch of hands-on projects during the course that helped us integrate the theory we were reading, and instead of just discussion. So I really like that about this course. Even though I ended up not using really any techniques in terms of teaching and learning because I'm not a teacher, I still was able to use some of the techniques in my practice as an advisor in higher education. So I was, in my job that I had, I used to lead some workshops, and so some of these practices that I did learn in this course, I applied to the workshops that I led. So in terms of grades, I received an A- for the Immigration Policy and Educational Practice course. I received a B in Ethnicity, Context, and Family Dynamics. I received an A- in Statistics, and then I received a Satisfactory in Teaching and Learning, Having a Wonderful Ideas. At HGSE, you can choose to either take the course for a letter grade or Satisfactory, or a Satisfactory slash failed type of system. And I chose to do the Satisfactory failed system for one of the classes because this program is very rigorous, and honestly I was having a hard time my first semester because of the challenge, the rigor, and so I wanted to have one class where I didn't have to focus on getting a top score or doing really well, and I wanted to just focus on learning the content. So that's why I chose to do this format for one of the classes. If you are planning to do a PhD, I would highly encourage you not to do this system just because it doesn't look good for you when you're applying for top-notch PhD programs. For me, it worked out that I got into 5 of the 10 programs that I applied to for the PhD programs, but I wouldn't recommend it. For the spring semester, I took the why, what, and how of school, family, and community partnerships, and I received an A-. And I took this course because it was taught by my advisor, who is the expert in family engagement in the nation. And so that's what I really came for. That's why I really wanted to come to HGSE, for the mentorship of this faculty advisor, but also learning more about family engagement. So this course really helped me learn about the policies, practices, systems, and challenges really of family engagement implementation. So I really learned about these challenges and how I could change these for my state, for rural communities, for the Latinx community. So I was able to do a research project at the end where I created a business plan to advocating for a family engagement mandate and policy for my state. So I really liked that because I got great feedback from the expert on family engagement, who happened to also work under the Obama administration on this framework that she created that has been implemented in a bunch of public schools in our nation. And so I was able to learn from her, get the feedback, and apply that feedback to my work, and eventually use that work to impact policy of family engagement in my state. I also took a formative evaluation for educational product development. I got an A, and this course was interesting. I wasn't expecting to take this course when I first entered HGSE because it doesn't really fall within my interests, but I did take it because it was on evaluation. And so eventually, my statement of purpose, I actually wrote that I wanted to create my own program, my college access program. And I thought that evaluation is a key piece in terms of program improvement. So I took this course, even though it was focused on product development. In the description of the course, it did mention that you can also evaluate programs, products, obviously, and technologies and other educational tools that you might want to implement or create. So I really liked that I was able to learn the evaluation tools that I can implement when I had my own program or if I was working for a program. I also took applying cognitive science to learning and teaching, and I got an A. And the reason why I took this class is because really, if you are working in education, you need to learn about the cognitive side of education. How do people learn? Because when you are, let's say, teaching, you're teaching students how to learn. So if you learn the science behind learning, you're going to be able to create innovative solutions to helping different types of students learn. And this could be applied to every sector of education. It could be applied to higher education. It can be applied to program development. It could be used for product development. It could be used for startups. It can be really used for anything. We learn all the time. So why not learn the science behind learning and how we can use that science to implement effective practices, policies, products, whatever it is. The last class I took was Motivation and Learning, Technologies that Invite and Immerse. And the reason why I took this class again was because, again, we have to motivate our students and people to achieve success some way or another, whether it's in K through 12, higher education, whatever it is. And so I thought that it would be a good idea for me to learn the techniques and the strategies behind motivation and how I can implement those into my personal interests, such as program development, or if I wanted to, let's say, motivate students to pursue higher education. How do I do that? And so it was really cool because this class we actually played video games, and that kind of helped us learn how motivation works in terms of like why do people play video games for hours and hours and hours and still be motivated after the first hour. So we were using that experience in terms of stripping down what motivation looks like in the gaming world and how we can apply some of those techniques into education and educational products. So I like that a lot. But yeah, so I ended the year with, I believe this is like a 3.7 if I did the GPA. HGSE doesn't give out GPAs, but I calculated the GPAs like about 3.7 around there. But honestly, I didn't really care about the grades. I cared about learning the content. And I feel like I learned a lot in the 1 year that I was at HGSE. And I applied a lot of the knowledge that I gained to my practice, but also my PhD program. Something I would change is maybe not taking the stats class. Maybe I would have taken more higher ed focus classes, maybe some more research methodology courses. But overall, I think I learned a lot from the classes I did take, and it made me think more of myself as an entrepreneur, because a lot of these courses, the final products, we were working with actual real companies, real nonprofits, real product development companies. And so I was able to apply a lot of the knowledge into real life situations, and I was able to provide feedback to these companies, to these nonprofits in different sectors. All right, so that completes my video on the grades and the courses I took at HGSE. Let me know if you have any questions about courses down below, and I will get to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.